I
That's why
just
the
add? Can I?
associated
I want to
party
add
limit
something.
is important. You cannot
No, no.
just
Yeah.
because
But
who decides what's inflated and what's not. That's the thing. Like that's the thing that here it matters in this conversation, because if someone is sponsored for like 200 million extra, 100 million extra, and by the way, you see even these 20, 30 millions that you're talking about, Terry. 20 and 30 million from 5 different companies, that's 150 million. That's a whole transfer window. So like
Mhm.
this is where these little things can make a difference eventually, and it adds up. And this is
Yep.
why for me, I've never ever stated, that's why I ignored the initial question, I've never ever stated that I'm not allowing any partnerships from the Middle East, and no one that's your cousin can sponsor you. I've never said that. I'm just talking about how the Premier League can keep this fair, how the Premier League can keep this competitive, and how we can sit up here and actually look at the financial numbers of certain things sponsoring Manchester City compared to other things. Meaning, let's give a very simple example. Let's say Hussam Water sponsors Liverpool for 50 million a year. You cannot get Terrace Water to sponsor Man City for 80 million a year, because those differences in the end they add up. 30 here, 20 here, 15 here, 10 here, 5 here. Suddenly that's a transfer window.
But let me
That's
ask you a
the
question though. But let's say this. Let's look at it in this point of view. Let's say my water company, though, I am a billionaire, and I want my water company. Excuse me, I'm drinking fizzy water as I say that. My water. I want this bottle of water to be in every restaurant. I want it to be in every supermarket. I want it to be in every household in the world. And I look at the Premier League and think 600 million views a weekend. City ever growing. Yes, other water brands are paying 5 million, 6 million pounds to go on the arms or on the front of some shirt sponsors. But I think, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some of my wealth and I'm going to pump 15 million pound a year in. I'm going to break the bank because I am going to sponsor and market my brand to an epic level because I want to take over. There should be room for that to be accepted. Now, it should still be scrutinized because I still think they've got to check that the company is they've got to check the company's real. They've got to check that.
But that's 3 times though.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get to that
That's
point.
3 times the market value of other big clubs.
But market value is one thing. If, for instance, they do a deep dive into my water company, I don't have a factory, I don't have a name, they can't detect where my spring is, right? They can't, I don't have any staff, I barely have a website, then it's maybe a little bit fishy when you're like, well, hang on a minute, you don't even have any of the infrastructure. Why would you start sponsoring the shirts now when you can't even make a bottle of water? Then you would say, go through the process and go, we're rejecting it. But if I can show you that I have the infrastructure to grow, but I just want as a company to have a huge marketing campaign through a Premier League football club, whether it's City, Liverpool, it doesn't matter, I should be able to do it. And I think that's where the scrutiny
Yes, but the huge marketing campaign needs to happen within market value, Terry.
Yeah, but
meaning you can't be 3 times as many.
No, it can because the other water sponsors, they're only prepared to spend 3 million a year. I am prepared to spend more. It's not.
But it's not about what you're prepared to spend.
But again, that's where I agree that it's wrong. Me as a business, if I want to say I want to start turning around and paying for marketing, if I want to pay for marketing to make the football terrace bigger, say the average YouTube channel only spends £300 a month. Should I not be allowed to spend £1,000 a month because they don't?
But you see, the YouTube example is different. The example that we were just talking about now in terms of the water company or whatever it is, the reason why you cannot pay 3 times, it's not about how much you're willing to spend on the marketing. It's not how much Terry's water company wants to spend on marketing this season. It's the impact of how much Terry wants to spend on the football. That's the thing that matters for me.
I understand that, but from my point of view, I get where you're coming from.
From your point of view, of course, you should spend as much as you want.
But my view is this: as long as the company is real, has employees, has products, and has a genuine ambition to grow, I think what clubs should be made to do is follow due diligence. When I worked in the banking industry, you couldn't just onboard somebody to your bank, especially wealthy people. You had to go through very strategic, very diligent. It was called know your customer. Due diligence on the customer, and with a lot of them it had to be enhanced. You had to go into real intricate detail down to, okay, your money come from inheritance. You had to go to the source, like, well, where did your father get it from? His father. Where did your father get his father get it from? You had to go right to the source of where the money originated from before the bank would touch it. That is what we need to prove that the sponsors are real. If the sponsors are real, they're real companies, there should be no limit to how much they can sponsor a team. because you won't
Oh,
ever
that's where
get.
me and you disagree. I think
Okay,
there
this
should be
is
a
wrong.
limit.
Can we
There
just
always
stop
should be a
here?
limit.
Okay, yes, there's always should be a limit. Can we, like, the problem with the conversation we're having now is that the normal people, the regular public, understands that Man City and Newcastle will be allowed and want to sponsor their clubs 10 or 20 times more than Man United and Arsenal. That is not true. That is not what Man City are fighting.
Yes,
The
correct.
problem that is the problem is when this case came to this is, I need people to hear this, very, very, very important to actually focus. What we are talking about is actually not that Man City and Newcastle would want to get $1 trillion of sponsorship. They are not allowed. Is that they want everyone treated the same. Can you stop?
Crazy.
Can you stop?
You're literally lagging.
I'm trying. I am lagging.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in
Apologies.
144p. Big up the Red Cartel hacking Mo's internet
They're
for being
hacking me.
devil's advocate. Big up the Red Cartel. We walk together. Big up Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, taking down Man City step by
Am
step.
I still lagging?
Yeah, refresh, Habibi, refresh.
It's
Got
weird.
hacked by the cartel. Let's go. Let's go. This is what happens when you be devil's advocate. This is why you should always be the angel's advocate, not the devil's advocate. You should always be with the angels, guys. You should always be with the angels. The problem, Terry, with your logic, the unlimited stuff, if the unlimited stuff happens, Habibi, it's a never-ending thing. That's the thing that you need to understand, Terry.
Yeah, no. So I do get that.
It's impossible for any mid-table club or for any club like a Spurs or a Liverpool or any of that type of clubs to compete with Man City, with Newcastle,
Yeah,
with any rich club.
again, I'm not saying unlimited, but I'm saying there has to be logic to it. And if there's, again, if this is a water, and again, maybe you time, like, if the water company has no ability to grow at the rate that it states in the sponsorship claim, then you shut it down. But I don't think we should be limiting how people market their businesses and get their clubs and their businesses sponsored based on, well, no one else has got one as good as this year. If the Football Terrace gets offered a sponsorship deal that's better than anybody else's, I shouldn't be able to turn it down. Now, I know we're not in a league of competition with each other, but sorry, Mo, back to your point, just before we move on to the next subject.
My point about this, Newcastle and Man City are not fighting the league to completely have it open in the public. Like they can sponsor themselves with $500 billion. The problem, the media directed us all to understand that is the point. That's not the point. All they want is that this fair market value to be treated the same. Nothing about the Gulf, nothing about American owners, nothing about Asian owners. Everyone is treated the same. That's what they want. And also, people need to understand that because Man City play in UEFA, they cannot just go and sponsor themselves for $500 billion. That cannot happen. It has to go through the fair market value of UEFA. And Newcastle is the same if you want to be under them. So absolutely wrong. What Osam is saying, right, is the right way, but you're putting it in a way that people will understand, Osam, that Man City will go tomorrow Newcastle and sponsor themselves with $1 trillion. That's not
I get that. And someone actually asked me a question here, Terry, are you in favor of salary caps? Typically speaking, no. I don't like the American model of sports. I don't like how the worst team gets the best picks in the draft. I don't understand. For me, I do believe in rewarding meritocracy. The reason Man United and Liverpool and Arsenal, you know, have been the biggest, and Madrid are the biggest, and Bayern Munich is because of the success they had when they were the same size as everybody else. Because of the quality they had, the way they were run, the legacies that the Samats of this world created and the Fergies created to create clear blue water between us and everybody else. Everybody can get to where Man United are. They just have to keep growing it. But
do it properly.
It took us, okay, 130, 40 plus years. If you're a team now that's earning like £1 million a year, you might want to get to 800, 900 million, but it could take you another 100 years. That's what it took us. Like, there shouldn't be we shouldn't be capped for our success so you can catch us up. I don't believe in that as a general rule. What I would like to see is more money kept in football. So I'd like to see less money leave the game and stay within football, but that's a different conversation for another day. How tall is Mo? I'm guessing 5. No, he's not 5'3". He's 5'2". 5'2". 5'2" when his shoes are off. 5'2" when the shoes are off, Habibi.
5'7" when I wear my heels.
I love Wednesdays. It's only right to pay to watch Mo and Hassam go at it. You know, behind this is the best bromance, Habibi.
Yes, best bromance and yoga stretching from Mo when he feels like it. Just taking your statement, stretching it, twisting it, just to rattle you. But خلاص, I know his game now.
I was a little confused. Oh, I'm lagging now.
No, you're
I
not
wonder
lagging. You're good.
I'm not. Sorry, loaded my end. Yeah, there we go.